All right. What's this one? Let's try this. Oh man, I don't know. We'll see. Well, I like to live dangerously. Hey, Corey. You done any more drawing? Yeah, in a way, I'm working on an animation for the channel when I change this scene on the stream. Okay, so you're working on a streaming animation. I didn't know you streamed. Have you started and I didn't notice, or is it a new thing? What should I work on? Let's look away at this for a little bit. Corey has posted a link. Okay, it's a link to a blue sky. I'm already oh, it wants me to use the app. Let's see if I can do that without messing up something. Yeah, let's not do it that way. Here I'm going to... I didn't know you were a streamer. It's a great animation. I like how... Okay, so I'll bring it in here. This is Corey's animation. I like how you have your own special way of spelling animation. It looks pretty good. Ink it and color it up, and then maybe have like a looping state for a second so people can appreciate it before it goes away, right? You know what I mean? Looks good. You sure keep busy with art. That's a good thing. How much time do you spend drawing every day? Is it, from what I can tell, you draw about as much as I do, at least for fun. You've been streaming since 2020. All right, I'll have to make sure I actually follow you. I may have not actually done that. When I started Twitter, or sorry, not Twitter, Twitch. I'm not active on Twitter. When I started, when I started on Twitch, I would follow anybody who followed me, which was great. Except most of the people who followed me didn't actually watch me, which was interesting. And so it's interesting. What was the question? My question was, how much time do you spend drawing every day? Because you spend a lot of time, as far as I can tell. Also, animation is very tough. You did a good job with that. Let's see here. Every day it takes about 4 hours without a break, but I also had drawings that took me 2 days. Yeah. I admire the dedication. But I've been drawing since I was little. Me too. When do you stream? Like, would you be streaming right now if I wasn't streaming? I can't promise I'll watch all the time, but I'll try to tune in one time. You got this passion for drawing from your mother. She likes to draw flowers. I also inherited my drawing passion from my mother. Sometimes I wonder if there are some creative people's creative traits can be attributed to genetics sometimes. At least in part, right? Doesn't hurt. Boy, this is a very video gamey. Can I put this on random? What do I do here? It's a little easier. This is a Link's Awakening playlist that I hope will be stimulating, because it's extensive, but Anyway. You have a schedule on your channel where it shows when you stream. Okay. You probably noticed I don't really have a schedule. Other than, if I can, I will. The randomness is probably not a great thing, but I can't make predictions about when my work will be busy, unfortunately. So, or my social life, because it's just all very chaotic. Schedule's only made because you're still in school. All right. Well, if I had a normal job, it would be easier to make a schedule. But who wants that? I'm an artist. Like after I come home from school, I go to bed and sleep for a bit, and then I start streaming, or I play, or I draw something on the stream. I think that's good. Well, you're very good at drawing Sonic, and I think it's pretty cool that you were able to draw that Link really well. Yes, but when I save up money, I'll buy a Nintendo and you play a Zelda game. I think you would like that. They're very... They have interesting stories, and they're really good for, like, all ages, like adults and kids. It doesn't matter how old you are. They're fun no matter what. And part of the fun is the interesting puzzles. They're almost more of a kind of a puzzle game. Like Sonic is not... Sonic is a very... it's a very... It feels like it's like speed and precision and stimulation. And the Zelda games are very kind of... Sometimes you have to think about stuff. You have to put the game down and go think about something. And then you figure it out. And you come back. And if you can't figure it out, you can just look it up online. Especially since drawing where there is a link is the first time. I struggled a bit with the ears, but I like how it looks. I thought you did a great job. No notes. Perfect link drawing. Sakara, welcome. Yeah, I'm trying not to forget the my initial goals for starting this project in the first place was to create a portfolio of really impressive, like, Zelda massive epic showstopper type pieces like this, so. And it's like, this is the kind of like the final boss. I have other ideas for other pieces, but this is the most complex one. If I can just get past this hurdle, I will be able to move with speed on the rest of them. And then once I've had my minute to say what I wanted to say with Zelda, I'll move on to other stuff. I've already been doing this a whole year now, and that's kind of interesting. All of a sudden, it feels like things are gaining some traction. Did you finish your other stuff? Did you turn that into your, get that assignment done? With those, mechanics / engineers? It's totally okay if you didn't. Soon? Okay, no worries. Okay, Corey has some art to share here. This is what the fan art with Link and Sonic in color looks like. Alright. Life stuff becomes random as a variable. Yeah, totally. The instant I make a plan is when God intervenes to throw some real curveballs my way. I'm sure it's the same with everybody else. I'm attempting to pull it up, Corey. My internet might be being slow. Me makes a plan. God, not today. Yeah. Ah, okay. Here we go. we'll bring this in. Still a work in progress. Looking good. Looks good to me. What are you using for your drawing software, Corey? In my case, everyone can see I'm using Painter, which is a very difficult drawing program. It's not necessarily the hardest to learn, but it's the hardest to recommend. Use Krita. Okay, good. Zelda Gift World. First time chat. Hi. I follow you, don't I? Yeah. You've got that fun profile pic. Hot local grandpa talked you up. Isn't he the best? I feel bad I haven't checked in on his stream in a while. Thanks for popping in. Have you seen this piece? Do you know what I'm working on? Hold on, let me turn off all my stupid stuff. Something about the Zelda cartoon. My father was a writer on the original Zelda cartoon. So that's some interesting Max lore. So this piece here is a... yeah, my dad wrote on a lot of fun cartoons from the 80s and 90s. So here we have like a bunch of... Now, what this betrays a little bit is that I didn't actually play Tears of the Kingdom. Or, sorry, Breath of the Wild. So I have the scale kind of bad with these moblins. They should probably be bigger. Or the bokoblins. This moblin looks pretty good. Nice and big. And, like, I know they probably don't live in the forest, but I made them do it anyway, so... She's hanging on for dear life. She's got her, you know... This is something... It's like an Indiana Jones kind of version. But there's all these, like, little fun things going on here. Little guys falling to their death. This is a, Have you seen any of the other pieces? I've been doing all sorts of stuff. I've been, Since you're... I'll just treat it like this is your first time in the chat, because it is, but the, a few weekends ago we watched the Zelda cartoon on stream, first 4 episodes. Okay, I believe my dad wrote The Ringer. Pura, yeah. You've lurked? Okay, cool. So I don't monitor the viewership, because it would give me anxiety, because like nobody watches, right? But this is a Pura sketch I did the other day. And this is like Gooner bait, but I had some viewers encourage me to give it a shot. Oh well, okay, so there's a Pura emote there. That's good. Good. Sorry, it's like my brain rot. I watch too much brain rot shit on YouTube, so. But this is you know, it's interesting to see what different audiences respond to. You can't complain. Yeah, you do that stuff too. Okay. Here, I did a cute little anime, like be right back kind of thing. Isn't that funny? Like you got the, like all the anime Zelda Link ships, like have them doing cozy things like sitting in front of a fire. Here I have him stealing. It's me for real with caffeine. Yeah. Yeah, I've got a nice big coffee right here. And these are very distressed. See, here's some art process for the Pura sketch. I got about this far on stream, and then my computer crashed, so I had to sort of rebuild. Not rebuild, but I had to stop the stream and finish it off stream. Might be a personal question. How many cups of coffee do you take? She was too hot for my computer. I can drink caffeine all day. I can drink a pot of coffee and go to bed. No, I can drink a pot of coffee and go straight to bed. This one I did is the... this one kind of popped off. It's interesting what does and doesn't do well on different social medias. So this one, like, did really well on Instagram and Tumblr. This is just a rough sketch, right? But it did really poorly on Reddit. But this one did really well on Reddit and then really poorly on Tumblr and Instagram. So it's not just... There's different audiences on different platforms, and different audiences have different audiences, I'm realizing too. Because it's like people might... So much of what I guess in this day and age, you know, without like a crazy and this is not like I'm trying to explode on the internet. I'm not sure how that would help me other than being a big distraction, because I do still do fine with my day job, but it would be difficult to replace it. Here, I'm going backwards in a way. Zelda, should I call you GIF World? I'm an elder millennial, so I say GIF. GIF, okay. But if I call you GIF, or do you like the G or the J? Sometimes I can pronounce it with the soft G. I hate it when people call me GIF, so please pronounce it as GIF. Okay, good. All right, so Giphy. Can I call you Giphy? No, just kidding. But these are pieces I had completed, and you can see the process is extensive. We're going backwards in time now. This is interesting. All the way back down to... Surprising amount of people call me Giphy. All right, cool. I like it too. The process is all about adding light. So it always starts with a darker sketch with like dark colors, and then I add light to it. So even like super... Here, let me turn my face off. Are you on social media? You don't need to follow me if you do or don't care, but the... Oops, not that one. Turn my face off, just because there's a cool detail in the corner. A lot of the... What I'm trying to do, at least with a lot of these early pieces, is sort of harness the imaginative, like, Zelda aesthetic from the first game. Maybe even the second game a bit, too. Because, you know, back then, it was very much fueled by our imaginations. We had the original Zelda game as a bit of research for my dad to play for 3 hours before starting to write on the cartoon. I remember him doing that too. He was like trying to figure out what to do and couldn't figure out what to do. So he called whatever his contact was and said, "Hey, can you get someone to play the game and put it on a videotape and send it to me so I can figure out what to do?" And then he just sat down and started writing anyway. So there was it's all this stuff. Humble beginnings, even for these finished pieces. Go back in time, you can see different decisions being made. Anyway, I've been doing this about a year now. It's sort of interesting to reflect on everything. For a long time, it was pretty much nothing going on. But now there's a good amount of people who pop in to say hi, and I get a lot of encouragement to continue, so it's good. But I'm, yay! Like Nizukara. Anyway, Nuzukara Giphy is a fun streamer. I've looked at least one of your streams, and I thought, oh, this is good content, but I can barely do my own stream, let alone pay attention to everyone else doing cool things, so... Anyway, I appreciate the lurking. And no worries, either way, but welcome to the stream. So I am on Twitter as GifZelda. I mostly do that in Twitch. Alright, cool. Zakara is always around. Oh, that's good. Well, one of these days we'll do a voice chat. It'll be fun. I also want to learn as much as I can as well for colors and light. Me too! It's sort of what I'm trying to do here. I always loved in the Zelda cartoon how they used the sound effects in the game so perfectly. Yes! Yes! Agreed. And I thought the music was banging in the cartoon. I've looked, like, here, you might know. Do you know of an isolated music tracks from the Zelda cartoon? Like, because I'd love to play those. Those are insane. The only negative, really, is all the sexual assault Link tried to do. I don't want to lay the blame on my dad for that, but having him be a bit of a sex pest does not age well. I think it was just a sort of, like, satire, I think, on the, you know... damsel, and to the show's credit, I don't think they ever actually kiss, except on the one episode where it's Bad Zelda. Oh boy, smooching time. Smooching time. That's got my dad's name all over it, but who knows? Like, he was a writer and story editor on all of those, so he basically signed off on all the scripts, I believe, unless he, if not totally rewrote them, and then my aunt was a writer on the show too, so she wrote a few of those episodes as well. The late 80s, it was all in good fun. They're just cartoon characters. They're not minors, as far as I can tell. They look like they're adults to me. And, you know, I don't know. You know, I don't know. Link has a thankless job. The least she could do is give him a smooch every once in a while. It's funny because it's like back then, or it's like in modern times, there's all the shipping, but the way it's depicted back then, it's just so creepy. Sometime in the next week or two, we will be streaming the next few episodes. But then gets pixie blocked. Yeah. They almost get the smooch in. It almost happens a couple of times. Yeah. Typical Zelda stuff. I learned all I needed to know about women from the Zelda cartoon. Does your dad like talking about it? So sometimes I ask him about that stuff. I don't think it's it doesn't need to be a big, crazy secret, but my dad doesn't remember in great detail a lot of that stuff. Not because he has necessarily a bad memory, but he was not in his healthiest mindset, I think, at that time. Despite being, my dad is, I don't know. I don't know if he'll ever watch these streams. My dad is like my best friend now, so I'm political about what I say, but he is my dad, and I can be real about some of it. He is he was never a raging alcoholic or anything like that, but he drank a lot back in the day, and I'm no saint myself, but he doesn't drink anymore and hasn't for probably 20 years at all. And he's a really great grandpa, and dotes on my kids and loves his family and stuff. But those were stressful times, and I'd just be surprised if he recalled many details other than a few standout moments. Like, you could, like, you're really glad to hear about him now. I'm so interested in the cartoon. It means a lot to me, and it still does. It means a lot to me, too. I mean, I don't know. What he doesn't like is that people will be like, hey, can I ask you questions about, like, your cartooning days? And he'll be like, sure. And then, like, they'll ask him, like, 3 questions. He's like, and he'll answer them. And then they're like, now, do you have any Beast Wars toys you can sell me? Because I'm really looking for this rare Dinobot toy or whatever. And that gets him annoyed because it feels like he's like sort of being used a little bit for his access to toys that he doesn't have. People are assuming that the writers get all these kinds of crazy toys. He has some toys, but he just has them as like memorabilia, not as any kind of vehicle to they're up in her attic gathering dust, but people will be nice and ask him questions about some things, and then they'll not be nice and ask him questions about other stuff, and it's like, okay, no, that's interview over. There weren't any Zelda cartoons, so it was just an excuse to buy something they wanted, or it was like assume he had access to something special. It's like they didn't want access to him. They wanted access to his stories or opinions. They wanted access to like some toy that they could use or whatever. Working a side agenda. And my dad is sensitive. He's not receptive to that sort of stuff. He is he lives a quiet life now, just being a grandpa and watching romantic animes on Crunchyroll and stuff like that. He's an extremely cool person. He really is. I like, honestly, he should be the star of his own show because he's such a interesting character and person. But he, again, he's sort of like, he likes doing things well. And he does them well for his own sake and for his family's sake and for his own interests, but he doesn't receive publicity well, and he has a lot of social anxiety, so he's just not comfortable in being in the spotlight. I think he can handle it in small doses, but no one likes being used. No, yeah. And he feels used constantly. And like, I kind of get what he's talking about for sure. But I think it's also sort of like, in some ways it's like, yeah, but Dad, you got to spin it. Like, you got to use the people that are using you so that it's not, but he doesn't think that way. He's just he's like a hero. He's like Superman. He's like selfless, like, absolute Boy Scout, wants to do, I don't know, he's got like a guilty conscience. He tries to, I don't know why, but he he feels like he needs to redeem himself, and so he literally only tries to do right. And when he gets into a position where it's hard for him to do that, then it's, I don't know. But I, you know, I draw for a living, and in commercials, so it's a daily thing for me to sort of be like, well, I don't like this company and I don't like this person, but I like money and I like paying my bills and I like being able to, you know, buy my kids food. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do this. I'm sure he'd respect it more if people were more upfront about wanting toys than pretending to be interested in him. Yeah, but then he wouldn't give them time of day because he doesn't have any toys. And so it's, or certainly none worth selling. Like, for the record, he doesn't have any toys worth selling. He doesn't have any toys worth selling. He doesn't have Dinobot. Whatever. It's like, whatever. He's got, I don't know, Rat Trap. Whatever. Yeah, you got to be able to pay the bills. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the thing is. But yeah, I don't know. Do you have a question? I could pass it off to him. You wouldn't mind me asking. That sounds like someone would say if they does have amazing toys. Yeah, I'll go up in the attic. I mean, one day it will all be mine. Not specifically mine. I have a younger brother as well who I get along great with, so we're all one big happy family and we see each other all the time, so you know, if there is a secret cache of toys, we'll be sure to offload them cheap. But my dad is a he's like, you know that that cringy guy who he's not the WeWork guy. Who's that guy who is like the anti-aging expert? The influencer who like gets his son's blood. It's this guy, Brian Johnson, biohacker, anti-aging guy. So my dad doesn't have millions of dollars to spend on his anti-aging regimen, but my dad is in probably better shape than I am. Well, he's in definitely he's just extremely healthy, and it's hard to quantify. He looks like Superman. Like, he's extremely strong. Sort of, it's really ridiculous. Both of my parents look amazing, and so I hope those genes carry over, but we'll see. Are you okay if I drop a Twitter link of mine for a post I did about the Zelda cartoon to show you? Yeah, please. Oh, thank you. Yes, I do look amazing. Here, let's take a second to admire my wonderfulness. It helps because the lights are dim, and so all my wrinkles are in, you know, they're all blurred out. Yeah. There used to be a way to, like, make my thing, on my other setup, the computer will do, like, those automatic emotes. Alright, here's a fun... We got a fun link here. We like to click links. I think Breath of the Wild was just a sequel to the 1989 Legend of Zelda cartoon. It sure was. Alright, we're not Twitter stans here necessarily, but we will Let's see what we can get. Breath of the Wild missed the important moments like this one. I have a inkling to, or a remake, yeah. It's fun to see it get like rediscovered and vindicated a little bit, because most of my friends growing up were like, that Zelda cartoon was so stupid. I hate the Zelda cartoon. It's dumb, you know. And I'm like, oh, well, I liked it. Plus, my dad wrote on it. In my defense, the post is from 2019. Okay. I mean, I gotta rewatch some of these. I'll tune into your stream sometimes, because this is fun stuff. Yeah, the bomb bouncing off the bomb with the shield thing in 2019. I saw that happen the other day on some sort of platform. I think it was Instagram Reels. I just saw someone do it. See this one, the Zelda clone. The one with bad Zelda. This was my like sexual awakening moment. Here we go. The only smooch he ever got was from the bad Zelda. I think that's how it went. And you know, she's like, she's not herself, right? You know. And Link can tell, but he like can't resist. And he's able to like prove it. He goes in to kiss the actual Zelda, and she slaps him. He's like, "That's her." So what are you gonna do? That's classic moments. Link doesn't care. I mean, would you? I may be asking the most basic of questions. Can you ask him where the "excuse me" princess came from? So this was a and my dad was previously interviewed about this before, and there is a so there are things you have to do as like cartoony tropes, and my dad is like an expert on this stuff, and I need to do this too, because it's not just cartoons. It's like, you know, at least people like it when there's a lot of familiarity to go with a variety. So really quickly to talk about this, it came from, what's Steve Martin, isn't it? What's the guy's name? Steve Martin, excuse me. Yeah. There was just this, I guess this was a meme before a meme, but people just couldn't stop laughing. If you just type in Steve Martin, excuse me, it's this bit. He just tells this long story, and at the end he goes, excuse me, you know. And so that's where it came from, is he basically stole a Steve Martin. Now that my dad didn't steal it, the producer was like, I love it when Steve Martin goes, excuse me, so make Link do something like that. And, you know, otherwise my dad would have like come up with something like, I don't know, like another day, another rescue, you know, it's like that sort of thing, right? It's the same thing minus the princess. It is the same, yeah. So that's the bit. That's where that comes from. And this isn't like you're learning about this and only I knew it. I read that just a few months ago there was like an Instagram account called Nintendo Interviews or Hyrule Interviews, and I ignore it for the most part, but then one day I saw my dad quoted it and I was like, holy moly. And I was like, I didn't even know that. So that's cool, right? But in the 80s and 90s, it was extremely important for people to have catchphrases, right? So like Urkel back in the day was like, no sweat, my pet, or Oh, he was like the original sex pest. Or, you know, what you talking about, Willis? Or, did I do that? Yeah, exactly. Did I do that? He had 10 catchphrases. Got any cheese? You know. And, Bella my bedlam. Did I do that? Exactly. Welcome to the chat. So yeah, Urkel had his catchphrases, but also extremely important, or like Biker Mice from Mars, you'd have like, let's rock and ride. Or the Sex Pest was a 90s thing for sure. Now there's a name for it. But you know, I'm a product of those days, so it's like I have to, like, you know, I'm a reformed misogynist myself, but it was you know, with the I'm happily married for 20 years and I have, you know, a daughter and stuff like that. I'm a feminist now, but the reality is, it's like, you know, we grow up with these influences, and it's just sort of like, oh, this is how boys act or whatever, and you know, it's cringe now. Hi, welcome. Actually, even later than that, Howard in Big Bang Theory was it at the beginning. Right, yeah. I think there have been big political shifts, and then I don't know if they shifted too far, because now it feels like things are shifting back, and I don't like how things are. It's weird out there right now. So all I want to do is sort of see if I can act as a good example by saying, you know, that's cringe, but also these other people are cringe too, and I don't know. If possible, but it's you know, let's all love each other. Why not? We can all love each other. You don't have to be pests about it. Let me think here. Okay, so yeah, you needed your catchphrases, but you also needed your you needed like your special foods, right? So like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had what? You know, it's pizza, of course, you know. If you ever watched Extra, good morning. Okay, Zelda Gift World, gotta run now, but I'll be back. Other streams. This was fun. Giphy, take care. Yeah, so they had in Ninja Turtles, it was pizza. In the Sonic the Hedgehog show, it was hot dogs, right? If I'm not wrong. Specifically in Biker Mice from Mars, it was chili dogs, right? So I've been trying to think about what should be the food for this show, and well, what is my favorite food? You know, what's my weakness? And it's definitely tacos. I'm definitely a taco guy, so that could be a thing. I have never talked about it really, as far as I can tell on stream, but I could eat tacos every. You know, this is, you know, I live in LA and I'll never move. Primarily, probably because I love the Mexican food here, but if those who know that you know, I always sign off my streams with like an adios. That's a deliberate thing. It's like a little bit of a catchphrase. So I do say, but it's like, it's not just deliberate for the stream. Like I literally, like, people will leave my house and I'll be like, all right, catch you guys later, adios. Just a thing. That's my way. Anyway, Sexter, welcome. The Pura sketch has yet to explode on some social media, but did really well on the on Reddit, which is interesting. Yeah, I'm extremely, and it's just interesting because it's like, it sort of underscores the difference between, it's like, different platforms have different audiences, and even, I was thinking about this the other day, different audiences have different audiences, you know? And what favors one platform won't favor another, and that's okay. So it wasn't a bust. I can tell it's well received among the audience for which it's intended, but not necessarily a slam dunk outside of that audience. Tumblr is an interesting platform where people will like my stuff, but then not follow me at all. Or they'll reblog me, but not like me. Or they'll follow me, but not like anything. It's very strange. My friend has a huge live following on TikTok. Not one will come watch him on Twitch. It's really interesting. People will have their platforms and then they don't want to. People also don't necessarily want to know. There are portions of the people who like the Zelda stuff that I do, but that doesn't mean that if I start drawing other stuff, they will be interested in that stuff as well. Some will, but not all. But I'm kind of circling a little bit of an interesting thing, because I've noticed that across all platforms, everything that I've been doing is my least performing stuff is the stuff I spend the most time on. Isn't that interesting? Not necessarily like the least, but the I like, it doesn't matter where I post or what I work on, the stuff that I spend the most time on, like specifically like this kind of piece, I'm forcing myself to do it right now just to force myself, but it won't do the kind of, it won't get engagement or follows the way that like a rough sketch will. It's fascinating. Or it may, but it isn't. People aren't responding to it right now. Post time also matters. Some audiences are asleep at certain times, for sure. But I think overall, where I see the pattern sort of becoming clear is that, and it's not so much I'm like, oh, I'm going to completely change what I'm doing. It's just I'm going to have different expectations and assumptions about what will do well and what won't. And that way I don't have to like feel like, oh, this one got, this was robbed. It didn't get what it deserved, you know, and I shouldn't think that way anyway, but sometimes you can't help it. Hage, I appreciate your candid info, Hage. I'd rather look at roughs and whips than finished pieces. And I think I'm in the same boat, right? Yeah. The audience for this piece is a person who hires people to do like finished concept art, right? But that's not the audience that, you know, there's maybe 100 people like that on the planet, you know, or not necessarily that, but like art directors for video games and movies and commercials, you know, they go in the thousands. The Zelda fans are in the, who like appreciate sexy sketches of Pura, are in the millions, you know, billions even. So Hage, did you see this piece? She's not a piece. She's a real flesh and blood person. Likes and retweets does not equal money too. So it depends on the goal. Exactly. And so I have to be, looks good. Thank you. It did good numbers on Reddit. Got, it's the most popular thing I've posted, like on Reddit. Whereas normally my Zelda stuff gets pretty middling kind of results. These are not the be-all, end-all opinions about this stuff, but I respond to feedback by learning. And so this is just important for me to know moving forward. But they don't all have to be gooner bait like this. In her case, I think it's well warranted, but like I wouldn't draw Princess Zelda all sexy like this. Like Pura has, that's just her character. She has sex appeal. Good. Zelda has a little different. What's it gonna do? Well, anyway. Oh, this is not a, and this is not a solicitation, but this is a, because this is news. This is, the other day, one of the other people asked about the, donating and stuff like that, and so this is totally cringe, but I have set something up. So in the future, I will have like a little link, and I put down taco as the goal. So that'll be fun if anybody eventually donates and gets a taco. But I mentioned it to my wife, and she was like, "You should set something like that up. Why not?" And I was like, "Okay, if everybody's going to be nice about it, then I'll do it." But there's no plans for or expectations with any of that. I'm really just trying to think about doing the. I'm really just thinking about growing audience. One thing I really liked seeing the other day on Tumblr was a hashtag that said Max Forward on it, as opposed to just Zelda or whatever. It's like, okay, this is a good indication. I feel like things are getting traction. I don't feel like I'm just like shouting into the void anymore. Be right back. Be right back. Okay, no worries. Slowly but surely, adding light to the tree. Hey, someone's here. Hi, Kiki. You want to come in? You want me to make you some eggs? Okay, I will in a minute. Do you see him drawing a picture? Yeah. Here, come here. Oh, bugga. Oh.
What are you drawing?
Does it look cool? This is the big drawing. Do you see it? Actually, this is just a piece of the big drawing. Look how big it is.
Dude.
Dude.
That drawing is humongous.
It's humongous. Well, it's just getting started. Alrighty, you're awake and you want eggs, so I will make you eggs in 1 minute. Okay? I love you very much. Daddy's gonna give me 5 minutes. How about 1 minute? How about 3 minutes? Okay. That's fine. Alright, my precious children are awake and demanding food. Great. Can't find the stylus now. There we go. do just a couple more minutes and then gonna have to get on with my day, but feels good to dust off the cobwebs a little bit, especially on this piece. If I don't ever finish it, it'll stick in my craw as something that'll be restless in my spirit. But that'll be the big strategy moving forward, is to not concentrate on this kind of... It just won't do well for growing the audience. And if that's really the new goal now. Because initially this was sort of like, I can get the attention of my employers by doing color pieces. But now I'm not sure if my employers will be my employers for much longer if they can't adapt to the new paradigms. And if them adapting even includes me in it. I just don't know what I can depend on now, so... Meanwhile, it's very gratifying to wake up to a bunch of likes on your phone. At least for me it is. It's nice to see that. Instead of waking up to a bunch of notes, the silly changes that need to get made, I get to wake up to a bunch of people saying, "This is the coolest thing I've ever seen." And that's what I want. Okay. Cool. Now this feels like it's at a place where the majority of this tree feels in a good place. So, I'll just call that a good place to call it quits, but kind of wish I could hang out more, but the day is getting underway. And I have to arrange my priorities the way they need to go. So, alright. Make a fun thumbnail. Smiling. Alright, that's good enough. Okay, alright, well, anybody still listening, thanks so much, and I'll catch you next time. Adios.